I'm Jason, one of the instructors at Krav Maga Self-Defense. I want to look into and talk to you about third-party protection. With Krav Maga, there's three aspects: fighting, self-defense, and third-party protection. I believe what makes Krav Maga a bit unique, where other martial arts systems will focus or are focused on the practitioner most of the time. And I like how Krav Maga puts aside lessons and techniques and tactics and principles for third-party protection. And I see that as being realistic because we are not alone all the time. We will have a loved one with us when we're out there or traveling. Some of us will have families, so you'll have to worry about more than one third party. You'll have to worry about your whole family, your spouse, your partner, your kids. Fur babies can apply as well. These are um, all the things you care about, all your loved ones that you, when needed, will definitely want to protect or lead away from danger. With third-party protection, it complicates the situation. If you look into a sort of self-defense where you have to self-defense situation where you already have to start fighting off aggressors, and at the same time you have to look after a third party, you can imagine how much more complicated that situation will be. A lot more items that demand attention from you during that engagement. So it is a different beast altogether. With that in mind, what would be the best self-defense aspects would be your situational awareness. Like, I guess, also the same as if you were alone, but this time more important than ever, like the early detection and early response, right? The earlier you see that there's a problem headed toward you, or there's a problem along the trajectory of where you're traveling, the earlier you know about it, the earlier you detect it, the earlier you can maneuver away from it. Tell your third party, we're gonna pass this other way because I saw this dodgy person there that could be a problem, or I saw these hazards along the way and this feels safer. I just don't want to risk things. So that would be the key to keeping you and your third party safe. Of course, avoidance like any other. Now, if we look deeper into that, how would you be able to keep your third party safe? How would you maneuver your third party or your family or get them to do what you need them to do? And I think the key would be communication. With communication, we can break it down to verbal and non-verbal communication. With verbal communication, it's as simple as me telling my third party, hey, I see something that could be trouble. We'll divert or we'll backtrack, whichever direction I want us to go. Um, if you go another layer from that, you want privacy with your verbal communications with your third party, depending on the circumstances, you can lower your voice, whisper to each other, right? So no one can really hear you. You can have code words. You can choose code words. You can use the good old clock reference, like trouble 3 o'clock, trouble 2 o'clock, trouble 10 o'clock. All those things. If you have another language, if you guys have a common second language that you speak, and you're quite confident that in that area the chances are quite low for other people to be speaking that language, that would be an advantage for you as well. And you can utilize that language and possibly code words from that language as well to have a bit of that coordinated communication between each other, and you can respond faster. This nonverbal communication could be signals. You can discreetly point, a little bit of that elbow, using your elbow to touch their arm to get their attention, tap the shoulder type of deal. That's that sort of well, that's going more into physical. But with signals, you can wave, tilt the head to point to the direction of where you want them to look, or just look that way to make them look at that direction of the person or item you want your third party to give attention to, and then be aware of what you're signaling to them. Physical, like I said earlier, touching, I can tap the shoulder, I can like use the elbow, tap the arm a bit, squeeze, or I can even start to just pull their arm in or around their shoulder, manipulate them subtly because you want to divert the direction of where you guys are walking or moving to, and just immediately divert them. And then you can tell them later on why you did that, etc. So those are the things that you can do to communicate to your third party, and you guys can respond right away. And the earlier you do, the earlier you avoid, the safer you are. And that's the main point. Uh, with that in mind, there's also different roles with you and the third party. I Lack of better terms, maybe down the track I can formalize this some more. But I'll let's say if I'm the one calling the shots, I'm the leading party, and then I have my third party. So with that is I could be leading. Because maybe I'm the one that's training at Krav Maga self-defense, and I'm getting informed and getting all the all the knowledge, and I'm more alert, and my third party is relying on me to detect and dictate a response. So I'm definitely leading both of us or the whole group to safety, or where I deem would be a safe maneuver or safe place to go to. Uh, if the third party, for the third party, and they're not leading, oh yeah, of course they're not leading because they're the third party. The third party can also detect something that the leading party did it, but they can use whatever communication to make the leading party aware of the problem, and they can just wait for what the leading party wants to do about it. So that can happen too. So it doesn't mean that the third party is totally oblivious, but they can notice something, communicate it up to the leading party, and leading party can make a decision. Now it can also be both. Let's say it's a couple, both persons could be knowledgeable, could be trained, have been going to our classes together. So both of them, they can have some sort of dynamic arrangement where whoever detects the problem will instantly become the leading party and dictate the response and lead the other. Or if they don't want to, they can still detect and say, inform the other person, and wait for what response they want to do. So in those cases, it really depends on the dynamic between yourselves, you and your third party, your loved ones, etc., in your party. So what would be beneficial for you guys, and would be a good exercise as well, is if you try it out. Try it out. Shopping center, park, wherever you go to enjoy a good day. Um, you can you can because as you it's like in class, as you do repetitions, you're gaining more muscle memory, you're gaining more knowledge, and you trip over different things, um, different different not necessarily problems, some things that you can improve, and then you think of ways to improve it. So as the more you go outside, the more you practice this, the more You'll find probably some gaps in your communication, in whatever protocol you guys formulate, and it can evolve. It can be any problems can be sorted out. If you choose, you can be um, you can have your own little code signals, your little physical signals that only you two know about, and that could mean something that is an instant response expected of the other. So it's a little more dynamic, a little more automated, which makes you guys more efficient, right? What's inspired me for thinking about this is if you go on the internet, you look at YouTube, you see all these operators, military, law enforcement, whatever. They're clearing rooms. You know how they go into a building and the way they cover each other and they clear rooms and they enter the room, and all those things. They look so coordinated, and it makes you think, why are they so coordinated and so smooth in doing this? That's because they've come up, aside from them practicing it over and over again. And I think I would highly suspect, because of the practicing it over and over again, they've developed their communication protocol between themselves, between their team and their teammates, right? So it's their choice. If they probably have a radio or whatever, so that's the verbal communication, or they can do whatever signals, nodding the head, etc., or even some physical signs, some that they do to signal the others that we're now doing this, and etc. And that we can use that. That's not that principle is not just exclusive to military, law enforcement, or whatever it is. It is very cool to see, cool to watch, very tactical. We can apply that to our daily civilian lives, right? What's the principle there? We come up with our own sort of protocol, our tactics, and our communication. Once it's fun. You can try that. We probably do this subconsciously for other things, not identifying danger, but it's like, oh, look at that person's dog, it's so cute, look at that. Oh, look at that car, that's the car I want to buy next time. So we still get the attention of our whoever we're with, our third party, and try to divert their attention somewhere, and we're communicating something about that. So with this, uh, you can come up with something to help your self defense, right? Because it's very different now from you being alone and you having to take care of third party or third parties. So I think if you want to be diligent, you can formulate something with your families or your loved one, and have fun out there trying it out. It's like your little game between yourselves, your little secret, and that makes it fun. You'll do it more often, and then it evolves into something more efficient, something smoother, even automated. That when the time comes, if you do need to use that to get out of harm's way, it's nice and smooth, and you avoid danger earlier. The earlier, the better. To learn more KMG self-defense techniques, train with us at Krav Maga selfdefense.com.au.